Hello everybody, it's Alex again. Now, I've been accidentally buying tools online again. Um, so these are three different buys. Job law, and these two are separate. So I thought I'll show you what I've bought, talk about it a little bit and clean them up. So I saw this backhoe, 113 it is, I think. Yes, 113 online. It looked in okay condition, and I don't see those in the Netherlands at all. And I know Ben collects these. He's got this one or multiple of this one. And I have a few Swedish tools, so I thought just to be interesting, like it was only a tenner. Interesting to have for a tenner. As you can see, it's in quite good condition. This is markings from the forging, but there's not a lot of actual pitting. Look, this is all forging marks. Most teeth are there. I think there's one missing. I've seen, yeah, there's a broken tooth right there, but otherwise quite nice. So yeah, let's get a move on, give this a quick clean up so it can go in the in a little backhoe drawer. Right, back again, nothing major, just there was some, I think the tool's been cleaned up before, but there was some rust remaining in those corners and in those corners, and I didn't find that particularly pretty. So I've cleaned all the little corners out with a little wire wheel, and I went around the, there's a bit of pitting there. I went around that with the big wire wheel and some wire wool just to get it all looking a bit more even, rust out of the corners. You've seen it. It's all clean inside now, which I think is important. So yeah, nice, clean, collectible backhoe tool. So I think that's good addition, I hope. Give it a bit of wax before we put it away, obviously. Moving on, I've bought this wrench. Now I've seen the advert, and there was only this section on the advert. So I saw this section, I saw, oh, that's interesting. It's a flat bar. It's usually early, and then it had this nice number 3, which you can see over there. And I showed it Ben, and Ben said, I think it's Russian. And of course, he was absolutely right. As you know, he's extremely knowledgeable on these things. Still interesting, though. It was about 20 euros. Yeah, I paid 20 euros shipped. So that's all right. The tumble is completely gone. So really nothing left. I was showing you the good side. Just this. So for display, you put it up like that because you're not going to use it anyway. It looks like it's got a full thumb wheel. Maybe someday I can rob one of a very cheap wrench or something. Find one. Who knows? For now, I'm just going to clean it. If anybody knows what that says, I'd be extremely interested to know. But for now, we're going to give this a bit of a clean, just to see what we've really got stuck as well. So we'll address that as well. Right, I thought I'd quickly show you where I'm at, thought-wise as well. I've cleaned the insides and the wire wheel, the thumb wheel, as you can see, and the bottom jaw, and I've given it a good rinse just to see what I'm working with. Now, this wrench is very crudely made, really Russian made, right? You can see like where they've ground it. You just used a dressing stone. All very crudely done. Very stout, I must say, very stout. And as you see in the pores, there's been painted black. You can see. So what I probably did, I gave it a rough grind, bit more of a fine grind on the jaws, and then dipped it in black paint. And I was just gonna do a wire wheel, and whilst I'm at it, hasn't seen a lot of use. The jaws are relatively straight. We used as a hammer here once or twice. If you would just take that off carefully with Dremel, give this a quick grind, a wire wheel and some black paint, be almost like it would have looked new. So since I've got nothing better to do anyway, thought let's do that. So yeah, we'll proceed on that. So the Russian wrench is drying, so I thought we get a move on with the other ones meanwhile. As I said, this came in a lot. And you can tell why I've bought it. Obviously, it's a bit of the big wrench in the room in it. So it came with these 4 wrenches. You wouldn't sell it separately. It came with 2 smaller Van Dijls wrenches. This is a number 3, which I have, but mine's got a chip out of the drawer, and this one is in okay condition. So I think it's a keeper, I guess. And it has this smaller one, which seems really dirty, but the printing is quite nice, and I thought I had one of this thinner style, but mine's a bit bigger, and the jaws are a bit different. So I think it's an issue. You can see I've started cleaning it. I've never finished it. So whilst we're at it, hey jongen, whilst we're at it, I might as well do this one, just to not put it away dirty again. So that's a nice addition. An English 10th range, Richardson. You can see it's a broad arrow, 1943. Laminated one. Quite interesting how these are made. I'm not gonna do this one in this video because it needs some work straightening the jaw, and it needs some sanding, getting the pitting out. It's a bit laborious, and I think it'd make a nice video on its own. So just gonna stay like it is. Moving on. This big Ideal J-Deal German GRP GTRM wrench. So wartime, pre-wartime. It's very big. It's very heavy. You can, maybe my hands sort of give it away. Such a massive wrench this, and in lovely, absolutely lovely condition. You can see all the grinding marks still. It's, you know, it's dirty obviously, but it's just seen very little use. Little chip over there, very little use. I think this will come up lovely after a Y wheel. It's a bit stiff, and I was planning on, you know, taking it apart so I could clean inside the 2 halves, but they've put a pin through there, so you're not able to completely unwind it. So I'm not gonna mess with that. I'm just gonna clean it and keep it apart and do a sympathetic cleanup on this. But this is a proper wall hanger, because this is really, ooh, when you see it, it's much different than when you see it. When you see it in person, it's much different than when you see it on video. So yeah, we'll give this a clean up. This will be on my wall. Maybe not in this shed, but definitely in the new one. So yeah, let's get going again. Here we are with most of the tools clean. First of all, the Russian wrench was drying. It's dry now, so I've sanded the jaws and I've painted the handle, and I'm not 100% happy with the paint job, but looks correct, I think. Ben, you've expressed some interest in this wrench, and I might have ruined it for your liking, but now you know how. Now you can see how I've ruined it. If you're still interested, I can put it in your drawer, so let me know. The other wrenches, these 3 I cleaned up. As you can see, this one is all sanded. Quite happy with how it turned out. You can see how rough it was just by the thumb wheel, which is a bit of a shame. It turned out alright. I kept all the leathering, so there's a bit of pitting over around the leathering, which is a compromise, but I think it's okay. Part of the lion, this is a lion, is gone, but if you noticed previously in the video, it's already either not well stamped or worn off, rusted away. Early in its life, I did some sanding on this jaw because it had a dip down here. You can still see a bit of it over there. So all in all, I think this is a very presentable wrench. I would love to do this wrench just like this wrench, but this is a bit of a difficult one. As you can see, here's the lion, but it's a very faint stamp. Here's a company name and co. I'm not really sure what that says, but I think that's a reseller or maybe the manufacturing company, because he had them made. The Van Dijls guy had them made probably in Germany, so it might be the German manufacturing company. And this one is a bit different. It has a square part over there, whereas you can see with most of the other ones it's round. So that's a bit different, but that's a very faint stamping. If you touch that with the wire wheel, it'll be gone straight away. Same goes for the number 0, or at least the 0 that you might be able to keep. So for now it's just a clean wrench, not a sanded wrench. Moving on, this one just a clean wrench. Same bit of the same story really. Very faint lettering over there, and you can just there about to see the lion. Again, if you touch it with the sander, it'll be gone straight. With this wrench got something interesting I would like to show. I'm gonna take it apart just a moment, please. So this one has a really old repair job on it, which I didn't notice at first. You can see, if you look closely, it makes sense, because the thread's a bit short for these wrenches, because they usually go down all the way up until here somewhere, but this one doesn't. Now it's been broken at some point, maybe bent. So you can see how they filed it in there, and then they've braced it, or probably tried to bronze weld it, and then they filed it in on threads. Did quite a nice job really. It's a bit too thick, doesn't go in smoothly, but once it's in, it works perfectly. So that's a very old repair, quite interesting to me anyway. So that's him. Last but definitely not least, my favorite wrench of this haul, the JD DRP double-ended wrench. So it's just a clean up job, and then I've oiled it in ballast oil, which I find usually protects it. And I think it brings up this section of you know, that sort of black from the forging. I think it brings it up really nice. You can see it's just like a clean all the insides. I took the time with the wire wheel and everything on the Dremel. So yeah, I think that looks nice. So really happy with that still. Very cool thing. If you would be able to hold it in your hands, you would understand why I'm so excited about it. So this I'm all pretty happy with the things I've got them. Ben, please let me know about this wrench. I'm gonna put these away now, and yeah, let me know what you think, if there's anything you like, or if there's anything you think I could have done better. So thank you all for watching, and I hope to see you again very soon on another video. Bye bye.